So I know that the clock says we're 15 minutes early, basically because we wanted to get started as soon as possible. This was the road to a roadblock, Walking Dead End of the Line, and that's going to be in 2 weeks. So this isn't the go home show. This is just another Raw, but it's coming right off a SmackDown pay-per-view. That was kind of in the middle, to say the least. You want to know our thoughts on that? Check out the podcast we did for TLC on this network. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the show, a lot of storyline progression, some good matches, and not a bad show overall. So let's go further into that. Welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Raw Popcast here on the Popcast Network. My name is Sir Owen. Joining me, as always, we have Ashley.
Yeah, boy.
And it is very possible that we will be having some special guests before this show is over tonight.
AKA quote-unquote run-ins, allegedly.
Yes. So without any further ado, there was a pre-show, as there always is. Did you get a chance to watch the Raw pre-show tonight?
What, all 10 minutes of it?
That's all it was?
Yeah, I guess they're changing the format. Hang on, let me quickly go, because the thing is, it was on, as it usually is, it was on WWE's YouTube channel, so I need to have a quick look. Because it was broadcast live, so hopefully it's been archived by now. Let me just have a quick check. Of course, the problem is we've got to do all the clips from Raw first.
Right.
Yeah, the Raw pre-show lasted 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
Oh my God, that's it?
Yeah, and it's hosted. Well, I don't know whether this is just because of tonight, which is, I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Booker T is hosting the thing.
Oh boy.
But the thing is, he's not alone. Yes!
Oh no!
Every fucking week, it's time for the Great Caruso, aka. Oh shit! Shit! I can't say the word shit enough.
Apparently not. I did make that announcement that we were having another guest joining us. And live from the road, somewhere around the Boston area right now, is Scott. Can't really see what he's doing at this point. That's a dashboard cam.
I'm having audio issues. Hold on 1 second.
No worries.
I'm guessing that was I'm having audio issues.
Yes.
Because the great thing is audio issues. He was having audio issues. It's like double emphasis. I love it.
It's a first. Leave me alone.
Oh, incidentally,
the only thing of note that I remember on the pre-show was Titus is giving out flyers for the tussle in Texas, and they want to get rid of him. So Booker T just shows the clip of him looking like an asshole compared to Mark Henry last week. Because, yeah, we need to promote the fact that Karnat was fucking shit.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet.
A technical term, by the way.
I know, Owen. I'm not in the Boston area. I'm somewhere in New York. I'm actually pretty close to Rochester.
Oh, nice.
I'm kind of like a WWE superstar. I just left.
Nice.
You never know. Every show is different. Well, most times you might hear me from Ohio or PA, but it's rare that I'm up here.
Well then, so we got to talk. I got a couple things before we get moving into the actual show. Ashley, I got main event tapings. So you're waiting with bated breath for this.
They do that now. I forgot that they do that now.
Main event was Bo Dallas over Sin Cara and Darren Young over Jinder Mahal.
All you gotta do is believe.
I'm glad Bo Dallas won a match. That's always good.
Touche.
Oh, boy.
He's totally not. His gimmick is terrible, first of all. And second of all, he could do so much more. I mean, yeah, he doesn't kind of have the look, but he's, for God's sakes, he's Bray's fucking brother. So, I don't know.
No, I see where you're coming from. We've been talking about Bo Dallas for a long time here, and it's one of those things that sucks to see what he's become because he had a bright future. I called him the John Cena of NXT, which is what he was for a while. He got brought up to the main roster, and then they did the deal with the Social Outcasts. And when that stable literally fell apart, it was kind of back to the drawing board. They had him being like the angry person, and then that went nowhere. And now he's just he was doing the make wrestling great again, basically, and that didn't work out. So now he's kind of just not really doing much of anything.
Oh, we got breaking news from the fans podcast Twitter feed. Coming in that Bret Hart blames Seth Rollins for Enzo being attacked by Rusev.
Pretty much. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago, I went to a Raw taping, a Raw show in Green Bay, and I sat front row, but camera side, and we were right on the end, the first two seats, right next to the timekeepers area and all that stuff, and there's that little area right after the timekeepers that the crew go in and out of when they're taking all like the garments back and stuff that the wrestlers, take off. And the guy that gave me Bo Dallas' shirt and Ryback's shirt. Ryback torn up like 3 pieces of his shirt. So I have a Bo Dallas shirt that I have yet to wash somewhere that still reeks of baby oil. And when he comes to the ring in that shirt, he wears a size medium, and I know he's got the girth of me, not the stomach wise, but he's a wide guy. So
Oh my god!
Gotta accentuate those muscles.
Boy!
Loads of pics and gifs. Enzo and Rusev, how it really happened, and all they're showing is the picture of Rusev with the gun from that bloody film from earlier this year.
Rusev and the gun is one of the greatest things I think I've ever seen. I mean, just do yourself a favor and just type in Rusev holding a gun, and you see him putting a gun up in Dolph Ziggler's face. And all you need to know is that happened. So yeah, let's move on to the actual show itself.
Previously on Raw, shit happened.
Yes.
So Seth comes out and opens by saying, I haven't said it in 2 months, but I want Triple H.
About time to start bringing that up again.
I started the Shield a few years ago. When the time came, I was the one that disbanded it. In hindsight, it may have been a bad move, but I did get to the WWE World Heavyweight title by doing so. And then earlier in the year, after getting injured, despite doing nothing wrong, Triple H and the Authority turned their back on him and went with Kevin Owens instead. And Kevin became the company guy. The truth of the matter is he'd love to call out Triple H now, but that isn't how things work around here. What he needs to do is beat Kevin Owens and get the Universal title back. Then Triple H might show up. But, of course, he can't do it until he deals with Jericho. Because apparently he's adamant that Jericho and Owens are still good friends. Despite the fact from what we saw last week, how, and how. And then he says, that was proven last week. Jericho was nowhere to be seen and Kevin struggled. So then Owens' music hits. And he shows up on the stage and Steph's like, how's Chris and, how's the friendship between you two? And Owens basically says, is it funny that you're mocking our friendship? And, true, we did have a fight last week, but friends make up. Unlike you, Seth, because you turned your back on all your friends when you broke up the Shield. And I don't know how he is, because Chris has been focusing on recovering and getting better. And I've been focused on getting Chris some gifts, because it's the holiday season. So he got him not 1, not 2, but 3 gifts for Christmas. And Seth's like, wow, is that enough for all the title retentions that he helps you out with? And Kevin goes, hey, man, I'm the only true fighting champ. I'm fight Owens fight, no matter what. I can deal with the stuff. But because of what you did last week to my friend, then that's because I was focused on his well-being. That's what caused me to lose. Your fault. So Seth goes, oh, you fight Owens fight. So why don't we fight for the title tonight? And Owens says, no. Why? You faced me 2 weeks ago and you lost. Also, I'm in a match with Sami Zayn. So that ain't happening. But I think you should know these 3 gifts. Gift 1, Jericho is getting the US title shot against Roman Reigns tonight. Gift 2, Jericho gets you, Seth, 1-on-1 at Roadblock, End of the Line. And the 3rd gift, well, this one's for you, Seth, because you're going up against this guy. And then Big Show's music hits, and Big Show makes his return to fucking Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I don't know why they did this.
The positive thing, this means no fucking Braun shithead on our show this week. Holy fuck!
It's true. I mean, I'll give credit. Big Show looked in great shape. He's dropped a ton. He's cut at least 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said his weight was 395. I think the last time I heard his weight, he's dropped at least 90 pounds. At least. And that's a lot of weight for him. And he looks great, but I don't know how far his ring shape is as far as like his cardio and stuff. He might be able to move around a lot better now, but well, I don't know. It was a little awkward to have him come out though.
Well, Scott, you do remember
especially with
that
his beard now.
Oh God, I hate that beard. When you
You're trying to be Braun Strowman.
No. When he first debuted in WCW, don't forget he's somebody was able to do was never done to a person, but he was having the ability to do a moonsault because they were testing it out at the power plant and no one wanted to take it. But I remember when he did a tour of Japan, there is a picture that exists in an aftermag that I remember seeing of him drop kicking Shinya Hashimoto. So yeah, Big Show does have, when he doesn't have all the weight, he is definitely rather agile for someone his size.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you remember when he first came into WWE after even in WCW, so WCW into WWE until probably about 5 or 6 years ago, he could move.
Oh yeah,
like he would shoot across that ring, and you'd be like, dude, he just took 2 steps, and that's it. He would bounce around, and he would do some the biggest spot that everyone knows about is with him and Brock, but he's done it twice. So, but and he's done superplexes off the top rope, multiple times without the ring collapsing in for show. But he is super agile and when Jim Ross used to say it all the time on the air, that was no joke. He literally was. And it's great to see him in great shape now.
I agree.
He took that time off and he used it wisely, and he got himself back into shape. And this is probably his last main run, I would say, and he'll probably go into some backstage role.
Oh yeah, I'm positive this is his last run.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this opening segment, I did catch this part. There's going to be spots throughout this whole show that I didn't get to see because internet on the Turnpike sucks. So I caught as much of it as I could. But this opening segment was really, really good, I thought. It set the tone. It brought out the cat in the bag, which is the Triple H angle with Seth. And it's pretty crazy, and I think it's, good for Raw that you have 4 or 5, maybe 6 of the top guys, all in the same program that is all just battling back and forth, and everyone's trying to get the title off of Owens.
Right.
We can see it already that there's going to be some sort of clash between Chris and Kevin, but I think it's going to be just on Raw. I don't think they're going to do it on a pay-per-view because there's not enough pay-per-views left between now and and if it is, it'll probably be for the title because I think Owens is going to retain at Roadblock and go on to Royal Rumble and so on and so on. Maybe Royal Rumble with Chris Jericho. That would be a pretty good match.
Yeah, that's the match I've been thinking is going to happen at the Rumble, too.
So, but to start off the show, it was pretty hot, I thought. It established a couple key points in the storylines that needed to be moved forward, especially the Triple H, Seth Rollins angle. It brought full circle that there is problems between Owens and Chris Jericho. Seth is envious of it and wants them to kind of implode on themselves, which is pretty much happening. And it sets up for three, at least 2 big matches. The Seth Rollins and Big Show wasn't really. It was an okay match, but the payoff was better. Seth getting his hands on on Owens again. So, but yeah, I thought it was a really good opening, And I like how right after that they plugged SmackDown right away, which was like
Oh.
that first commercial break, like during the match, they plugged SmackDown. Tune in to see what Ellsworth did, or Ellsworth versus AJ for the title.
I don't really
Yeah,
want
please
to.
don't watch the competition. By the way, here's an advert for the competition. Fucking hell.
It's true.
Are these fucks that fucking fucked?
Apparently.
Oh.
I mean, they've really needed to. They've had Triple H and Rollins on the back burner for a while, and a lot of fans are thinking that's where we're going for WrestleMania, and I think that makes the most sense. But you really had to start bringing this back into people's minds, given the fact that we're getting ready to go into the Royal Rumble next month, and that is the official start to WrestleMania run. So you have to do something at the Rumble in order to start building anticipation for it. And bringing this up at the beginning of December is a really smart move.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go to our first match, shall we?
Yeah.
Seth Rollins against the Big Show. Okay. Not much to this match. Rollins hit 2 springboard knees, didn't drop the big man. He finally goes up top, hits a knee strike off the top rope, and he finally drops him. At this point, he sets up for the pedigree. Owens comes out for a quick distraction. Big Show backdrops him. And Owens is like, finish him off once and for all. And he's like yelling at him. So Big Show grabs him, choke slams him over the top into the ring. And then he basically gestures to Seth that he's all yours now. And he bombs out, high fives the crowd, and gets counted out. Not much to this match, but it was just to set this up. And then after it was over, Rollins ended up hitting the side kick to the ribs and pedigreeing Owens and laying him out. So yeah, I mean, it did what it was supposed to do. I don't know exactly why the Big Show was involved in this, but I mean, honestly, when I was thinking it was going to be Strowman that would be the one that they would stick on Seth Rollins.
But I like the idea of Big Show though, because that kind of
Yeah, but this is how you start him on the road to Shaq.
Oh no!
I don't think that this was the wisest move, considering we know that the end game is Shaq. Some shape or form.
You are correct.
Stephen Hawking, Grams crashed.
Ashley, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of what you sounded like.
Surprised.
No.
Hey.
Yes. Continue, Scott. Yeah, Scott's having some technical issues too. Like he said himself, he's having a problem with the internet on the turnpike. So yeah, I mean, I really wish this would have done something else. I'm glad Big Show's back. Big Show is basically going to have to, like I said, like you said, Ashley, the end game is Shaq, so there really isn't much you can do with it at this point. I guess given the fact that it's Orlando and Shaq kind of turned his back on the Magic in order to go join the Lakers. I really think the smart money would be to make Shaq the heel here. Kind of do what they did with Mayweather against the Big Show. This case, you make the celebrity the heel. Because I think it makes more sense that way. I mean, I don't know anything about sports, but I do remember that.
I don't know whether Shaq would be treated like that, though.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time, but I remember in the Terminator attraction at Universal, before they changed everything around, when Shaq would come on the screen in his Lakers colors, I do recall him getting booed by people before. Now, granted, the entire duration of Camping World Stadium is not going to necessarily do that, but I mean, might as well try it. I mean, come on, let's have Shaq come out and cost Big Show the Rumble. It makes perfect sense. Don't forget, LT and Bam Bam started at the Rumble too, so they got WrestleMania 11, so it makes sense.
Oh, Shaq right now.
What?
I don't give a right now. We'll wait until he's relevant, which will probably be Royal Rumble time.
We'll see. All right. So this moves on to a video package.
For Jack Gallagher.
Yeah.
Who'd roll next? It means fuck his dead, he gets half an entrance.
Two things I'll note on this. When they did the promo package on Gallagher, they basically said that his finisher was the heel hook. He won with a running drop kick again.
Yeah. Good finisher.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when Austin Aries does it too.
Just exactly like they fucking advertise.
Here's the question, Ashley. Did you catch the little blurb that was mentioned on commentary that the Cruiserweight Classic is returning this summer?
I sort of expected it.
Yeah.
I'm more excited for the Woman Classic.
Yeah.
Or whatever they
say.
call it.
What?
Yeah, they're working on doing a women's tournament. And the Cruiserweight Classic's coming back in this summer.
So they're gonna do like some sort of women's tournament too?
Correct.
That's awesome.
I think the next step after that, if that one works, is it's time to do a tag team tournament. Because there's so many great tag teams in the world that I'd really like to see get a shot. But I guess we'll see. This match is short, straight and to the point. Gallagher faces off against Arya Daivari. I may not be mistaken on this, Ashley, and I wasn't taking notes at this point, but did Daivari actually get his first name, or did they just call him Daivari?
They call him Daivari.
Oh, they already had a Daivari, and he doesn't work for the company anymore.
Exactly. He had the same fucking guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, short, straight and to the point. It was kind of it was an interesting introduction to Jack Gallagher for people that didn't watch Cruiserweight Classic. At this point, Daivari locks on a chin lock, and he fights out of it, and he hits a couple drop kicks, comes off the ropes, gets caught with a gut shot, and then he headbutts Daivari in the chest, hits the running drop kick in the corner, and gets the win. The storyline here is after the match was over, Gallagher wants to shake hands, and he does so, but Daivari boots him in the knee and starts pounding away. So they're actually building storylines to the Cruiserweight. That actually might work in the long run, Ashley.
I mean,
Technical issues among us tonight.
I mean, the crowd on, and if not for only giving him a short amount of time to get up. And this is supposed to be the brand that they were called the Cruiserweight night on. Cruising right 20 minutes. It's 2:05. Also, I've just realised if TJ Perkins is going to be on Tribute to the Truth, they're going to have to change his Tron. Because Stone's a great place. I'll get to that again in a bit.
So before we move forward, number one, I apologize for technical issues again. Welcome, Cleveland.
Hey. What's up? What's up, my brother Scott? Oh, you just
Scott's
gonna
having.
leave in Nashville?
No, I think
leave in Nashville hanging.
No, Cleveland. I think Scott's having some technical issues of his own with his microphone.
So me and you, the only people that can hear each other.
Pretty much right now, yes.
So
Probably.
what you're telling me is that we share a connection.
Indeed.
We share a bond.
Sure.
We're close.
We have good internet is basically what it is.
I mean, I always use my phone to do these things, so Metro PCS. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I'll be using my my internet to do these like I have been. So if you guys are not able to understand Ashley, my apologies. There's been a lot of issues with internet with him lately, and with all of us really. So Cleveland, did you get a chance to watch the whole show? Oh, go ahead.
That's what it must be. Somebody's downloading porn. That's why.
Hey, hold
That's why
on.
it's always getting tipped up.
I always do that before I enter the podcast, okay? I'm classy.
God.
So, Cleveland, you did watch the show tonight, correct?
Correct.
Your thoughts on the first two matches?
I was so bored with this Raw. It doesn't make sense. Sleep twice. But mediocre.
Fair point.
Did you like tonight's Raw? Just to ask.
I mean, there was some solid wrestling on it.
I like Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens.
Swan and Perkins was too short. Mark Henry and Titus O'Neil made no sense. Jericho and Roman had the wrong finish. And the main event tag match was too short.
Yeah, so the only thing that I was allowed to like was the Kevin Owens match.
Well, you're not wrong, so.
Also, I have a very special feeling that somebody else will be joining us.
Well, that already was supposed to happen. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, I just talked to him.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll just move on. It was a decent way to introduce Jack Gallagher, and I hope that they actually do something with the cruiserweights, actually by giving them storylines that may make people care about them that wouldn't otherwise. So I think that's the direction we're going here. So,
Did you see? Have you seen Jack wrestle in the Indies?
I actually saw him work at NXT.
Oh, okay.
He worked the NXT taping I went to.
Okay. And he stole the show?
No, but it was a solid match.
Okay.
For the life of me, I cannot remember who he worked, but I do know that it happened. And it was a dark match, too, so.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's move on with the segment that comes after this, which Ashley dropped, so he's hopefully fixing his internet. We have Kevin Owens in the back. He basically is like favoring the back of his head. He yells at Mick Foley. He's like, "Did you see what just happened to me?" It's like, "How do you even expect me to compete tonight? If Stephanie wasn't here, this would never happen." Like, basically using like, "This is Bush League. This is Bush right here." But of course, not using those words. The match is taking place tonight. Foley walks away. Jericho is there. Owens walks up, and Jericho's like, "I just got here. I can get here when I want. I don't know anything about your gifts or what happened." Owens talks about the matches that he set up and the match against Reigns for the title, and he says they're going to be champions times two, and he informs of the match, and Jericho's like, "You know what? Are we good? Nah, we're not good." Rusev and Lana are arguing in the back. Enzo and Cass are kind of like eavesdropping nearby. Enzo says he doesn't stand for a man talking to a woman like that, so he's got to go over there. Kaz's like, "You know what? Get this. It's none of your business." Enzo goes over anyway, tells Rusev to calm down. Rusev calls him little Enzio, which made me laugh. Lana's like, "You know what? He's just trying to help out." So Rusev's like, "I can't believe you're even doing this," and calls Lana pathetic, and maybe you deserve a pathetic man like Enzo. Rusev about to leave. Lana grabs his arm, says, "You know what this ring means?" And is like, "That means you can have, I'm the only one that can have you." And then she takes the ring off and throws it at Rusev. And immediately I knew that Twitter was going to blow up on the "he threw it on the ground" memes. And sure enough, they did not let me down there. Enzo says, "You know what? You need to head on home and leave a hot plate on for me," to Cass. And Enzo asks, "How you doing?" So we basically continue when we come back to commercial. Lana doesn't feel like Rusev is being real here, and so it's like, "You know what? I'm not Dr. Phil," and Lana's like, "You know what? Rusev needs to be taught a lesson. Maybe if Rusev saw another man was interested in me, then maybe he wouldn't take me for granted." So Lana speaks in Russian, and Enzo doesn't understand. So that's pretty much the end of that. I don't like this storyline. I understand why it's being done, but to be honest, what world is Rusev the bad guy here? Seriously, Rusev is like one of the biggest baby faces in the company with the way he's dealing with things right now.
Yeah, pretty much every rivalry that he's in now, it's because Lana has herself in some shit.
You're correct.
He's basically Mario, and she's the princess that keeps on being captured by King Kong. By
That's
Donkey
a
Kong.
very good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that happened.
If anything, Lana is the heel.
Yeah, in all essence, pretty much. She's the master manipulator here.
Yeah, Enzo's butt ass naked, and you can clearly see like she like looking at him and like admiring his genitalia.
Fair point. Ashley, are you back?
I don't think so.
I don't either. We get to our next match. Sami Zayn versus the Universal Champion Kevin Owens. I love this match, obviously. Starts off hot. They start fighting right as soon as the bell rings. Owens hits a step-up enziguri kick on the outside, and then he hits his tope con hilo, which Zayn ends up turning back around on him when he gets back in the ring. So he gets tossed in the ring, and he gets one of his own. We come back commercial break. 8:56 chin locks administered. Zayn fights out of it.
Boing.
Exactly. Zayn hits a lariat and spins Owen like a top. Owens with the next snap across the top rope. Sami on the middle turnbuckle. And Owens got hit with a tornado DDT to the ring apron. I thought that was unique. Something I haven't seen before, actually. Throws Owens in. Owens rolls to the floor. Gets hit with the torpedo DDT. Tosses him in. Tiger suplex 85. 1-2 and a kick out. Puts him on the buckle. Owens climbs up and turns it into a release fisherman suplex off the top. 2 cannonballs. Third time is caught. Sets up. Elbows out. Owens package it. And, of course, counter out because that's never going to happen. Palm chop. Double jump into the tornado DDT. And he charges in. Owens makes him eat the super kick. Tosses the ropes. Leapfrogs over the pop-up powerbomb. Tiger suplex 85, exploder suplex into the buckle, blue thunder bomb 1-2 and a kick out. Sami ends up fighting with Owens on the outside. Hits the exploder into the barricade, rolls him in, and charges in. Owens hits the pop-up powerbomb 1-2-3. Solid match. To the surprise of absolutely no one. Like I said, this should be a WrestleMania match. I don't think it will be at this point. I'd love to see Sami Zayn still win the Rumble. I think it'd be amazing if they do that. What I'm scared about here is this is just going to lead to Zayn and Braun Strowman at Roadblock. I don't want that to happen. I don't care about Braun Strowman as a competitor.
Let's be honest, that's happened.
Well, yeah, but the problem is Mick Foley basically said he's trying to save Sami from himself. So the only way he's going to get the match is if he, A, wins a match to get him that opportunity, which, of course, he did not tonight, or B, it's more punishment.
See?
It's interesting to see where we go with from here, honestly. But yeah, solid match between these two. Like I said, this should be the Universal title main event for WrestleMania. And in a perfect world, it would be Sami Zayn win the Royal Rumble, and then we'd have them go one-on-one at WrestleMania in Orlando, which makes perfect sense. But I don't know at this point. I'm glad they gave us this match tonight because even if I didn't like anything else on the show, I still had Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to pacify me. So that's all that matters. That's enough to get a star for the show in general. So, yeah. Ashley, any thoughts?
Good match, as you'd expect from the two.
Right. Cleveland? Cleveland's the ones having issues.
Everybody's dead, Dave.
Ah, man.
Hey, what happened?
I asked you what you thought of Zayn and Owens.
I
Oh,
thought
bad.
I thought it was freaking awesome. Like just like Charlotte and Sasha, I can't get enough of their matches. I will never be able to get enough of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Yep.
Even from Indies till now. And like I'm happy that they don't do it every day, like to make it become mundane. But whenever they do it every now and again, my eyes are glued.
Right. Scott, are you back with us yet? Nope.
Me?
Oh, you're back with us. Good.
And
Oh yeah. I've been hiding.
Did you see Owens and Zayn?
That's like 2 minutes of the match, which is pretty much. It sucks that I missed it, but key point to the entire match was what they said what the commentator said at the end about Sammy's like luck streak down. Like he can't win.
That's why winning the Royal Rumble.
So they're still ingraining something.
Yep.
yeah, it's called the Raw.
And I'm gonna still think that that's what's gonna happen.
Who would have thought? And then he goes to SmackDown.
So until it doesn't happen,
Style versus El Generico.
right?
I could see him possibly going.
So
for the
until it
SmackDown.
doesn't happen, all right.
I could see him possibly going for the SmackDown title, but not the Raw title.
I really want him. I want Owens and Zayn at WrestleMania. That's what it should be.
Well, you're probably.
And I think it will.
What match
That's why
would that
you
be?
would.
That can't be no normal match.
I'm a tad bit biased. Yeah, I think that we're gonna get a stipulation on this match. Of course. Just as long as we don't get a cage, that's all I care about.
They must never face each other again for 2 hours.
3 stages of hell.
Did we talk about the Enzo and Cass?
No, I did I talked about it. I didn't really get to say much about it, but if you want to elaborate, you're more than welcome to.
With the whole, if you like it, then you should have pulled your ring off it.
Yeah. Did you notice that Enzo was bringing in some R. Kelly lyrics? He was quoting "Bump and Grind." I was like, Enzo, don't go full R. Kelly, or we're definitely not going to be PG anymore.
Was a
I
midget.
actually just made a Beyonce reference.
Put the key
Totally
in
glossed
the
over me on
ignition.
that one. Edition, yes.
Right.
Oh, Cleveland. If I don't make it to the end of the show,
Okay,
there was a spot. There was a commercial break. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a Geico commercial towards the end of the show, and it was about running in Nashville. Totally thought of you.
I'm
I
glad.
thought it was a dig at Dixie. Because Dixie
So I
can
ate some
barely
chicken wings in your honor.
leave thanks to the IRS on her ass.
You ate some chicken wings in my honor.
What?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I haven't said this in a while, but Owen.
Am I going to stay for this?
Owen.
Am I going to let this slide?
You gonna let this slide?
What bugs me about that is I did send a link already a little bit ago, and must not have got it. I don't have control anymore about this kind of thing. I don't know why stuff happens.
So Jericho's backstage. I think.
We are to Jericho backstage, yes.
Rome comes in his locker room saying, "Oh, you better get ready for tonight." And Chris goes, "Well, tonight might be my lucky night. You know, I get the title." And Roman says, "Hey, tonight might be Kevin Owens' lackeys." And it's like, are we trying to cut the worst promo of the year here? You know, because Roman is just like, "Hey, gay," and like, dear God. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not a good guy. I just can't fucking talk guy. That's what I am.
Fair point.
And that's him with a fucking script and he can't talk. Think what it would be like off the script. Thomas Jefferson, sucker!
Okay.
Then fucking great, not so great Caruso is interviewing Sasha after they recap her winning last week. And she's like, "How great was it to win in Charlotte's hometown?" And Sasha, it was good. Plus, yeah, I dedicated the win to Ric Flair, and Rick came out, congratulated, and celebrated with me. And then said, "You know, I understand why he helped her at Mania, but after everything that happened, I know he was insincere. He was sincere. Congratulations last week." Right, Charlie says. So there is a tweet from Charlotte that reads, "I will be getting my title back." What is it? It's like, I mean, it isn't like that, but you can tell it's just like a script line. You know, she can't be trusted with actually coming up with lines herself off the top of her head. Probably because she doesn't know a fucking thing about wrestling. What the fuck happened to what's her name? Kathy Kelly. Is she dead?
Yeah, what did happen to Kathy Kelly? That is a really good point, Ashley.
Why the fuck are we using her on the social media lounge on the fucking pre-show? Put fucking Kathy Kelly instead of bloody not so great Caruso, and we might have somebody that actually has charisma doing interviews. Same with fucking SmackDown. Why do we need Prancer Donna Blitzen when we got Renee Young?
It's a good point.
Why do we need more than one fucking more? Seriously. So, you know, Sasha says, you know, oh, so I think in the tweet she said, you know, flares are stronger than iron. Or I'm iron willed or whatever. So, of course, Sasha goes, gives me an idea. Charlotte, Roadblock, Traveling Wilburys, the end of the line. I'm challenging you to an Iron Man match because I'm the only Iron Woman. And then I'm going, well, one, NXT you lost, and two, you just called yourself an Iron Woman in an Iron Man match. You know, it's sort of, you know, be the equivalent of saying you've got a last man standing match between Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. I think there's a little bit of anatomy that might be holding you back from the actual description. Yeah, what? I mean, we can't call them Iron Sirens or something like that.
How hard is it just to say Iron Woman?
It's one too many syllables, Owen.
Oh, God.
There is no woe in WWE because they don't stop. There's just man. Hell, it's in his fucking name, Vince McMahon. Only allowed man. Yeah, Stephanie has a bit of man inside her every week. Hell, every day. And no, I don't mean Triple H. So then we go turning on her father in May. Trust me, you're going to want to remember this. We then cut to a recap of Rich Swann winning the Cruiserweight title back at 205 Live last week. As out to the ring comes his opponent, TJ Perkins, whose Tron stage still has him holding the Cruiserweight title belt. You see, if he had the Cruiserweight Classic trophy and he was standing by it, that would make sense. Because he's got the Cruiserweight Classic trophy.
Right.
He doesn't have the belt anymore. Is it too easy to, change your graphic, like taking somebody's picture? Seriously? Ugh.
Apparently.
We have so many options.
Wow, I wrote that down wrong on the script. Fucking James, not Brian Kendrick. It's TJ Perkins because they did mention that Kendrick will be getting his rematch against Rich Swann on tomorrow/tonight's 205 Live from, is it Houston?
That sounds right.
Houston is SmackDown, I believe. Down, Smack.
Yeah, it's Toyota Center.
Cool.
So we get this face versus face cruiserweight matchup. Good stuff. Michael Cole at one point calls TJ Perkins Brian Kendrick. That has to be mentioned. Good stuff here. I'm not surprised, really, because it's TJP and Rich Swann. So Swann hits the Baltimore leg sweep, Rolling Thunder into the big splash, gets a near fall. And they fight out for a bit. Perkins gets the upper hand. Tree of Joey Lawrence and the hesitation drop kick. Perkins rolls through going for the knee bar, gets countered into a near fall, drop toe to the middle turnbuckle. TJP does the triangle into the slingshot drop kick. Springboard, looking to finish off Swann. Swann catches them with the overhead hook kick and wins the match. This is good. I like this. Very short, but what we got was good.
Yeah. I would say overall good match, but again, sort of. I mean, it didn't really go too short, but for what the match these two guys could do, it sort of did.
Right.
It was much better. The crowd were into it a bit more,
Right.
admittedly, but it's still a point where it's like, yeah, no. Am I continuing on then?
Yeah, I guess you are continuing on because it's just me and you right now.
Right.
Oh, the Bailey
So
stuff now.
Yeah, Bailey's making her entrance. And then come out next for a one-on-one match. This may or may not have started on the bit of the pre-show that I didn't watch, but because it was 9 minutes, I barely saw any of it anyway. Because I think I tuned in to hopefully see the half hour, and then it was like, it's not on. I was just like, well, what's the point? So that's why I only saw the last bit with Titus and all that. So Bailey, apparently, Bailey Bears, now available on shopwwe.com, to Cedric Alexander and gave him a hug. And Alicia was angry because that's his black bitch.
Okay.
No other woman is gonna get between, her man. And when the match was over, we proved thou shalt not fuck with the Dudley boys, because that's more relevant than this match.
Right.
We literally had a storyline to it. Yeah, this division isn't dead at all.
Look what they've done to Bailey, Ashley.
I might as well tie it into here, even though it is in a few minutes, but we finally have fucking confirmation that Emelina is back next week.
Next week, yeah.
And then Dana Brooke pairs up back with her, because that made fucking sense before. Ugh. But we'll see. I mean, 3 minutes the match?
Yeah, that sounds about right. It did not go long at all.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much nothing to it. Foxy attacked with a Fez press. Starts pounding away. She hits a Northern Light suplex, and that's pretty much the end. Bailey fights out of a chin lock. Alicia with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Bailey counters into a near fall, and Bailey ends up getting the Bailey to belly and gets the win. It's disjointed all over the place, but I'm not blaming Bailey in this match. This match just didn't work at all. Bailey could be the female John Cena, but WWE just don't care. I mean, in NXT, we saw that Bailey could be like the leader of the women's division and easily the most over babyface on the roster. And now she's just like, she's just going through the motions, and it sucks to see. That's why I know it's more money. I understand it's more exposure, but it just sucks to see what they've done to certain NXT talents, most of the NXT talents, when they got brought up to the main roster. Bailey, what used to be something special, and now she still can be. It's just WWE has to agree to let her be something special.
I mean,
and it's a shame.
Paige,
Yep.
Dana,
Yep.
to some extent Nia Jax, although she is on the turn.
Right.
And then on SmackDown, I mean, well, I guess because it's Raw as well, wouldn't Summer Rae also count?
Yeah, definitely.
And then SmackDown, Alexa, I'm willing to give the benefit of a doubt on now, considering what happened Sunday.
Right.
But Carmella, nope. Eva Marie, haven't seen enough of her to warrant, an explanation or whatever.
Right.
So we don't know.
All right. So yeah, I guess what they're trying to do is run a storyline with Alexa, with Alicia Fox and Cedric Alexander, whether we want it or not.
Because you're gonna care about these fuckers.
Oh boy. Speaking of care about things, we get Enzo is marking out in the back room because he's gonna get some, at least he thinks he is, and he sings Bump and Grind by R. Kelly.
So. Yeah, so he good old Enzo. Lana texted a photo. Where's Lana? And Cass is like, none of my business. And Rusev says, I'll have a match with you, Big Cass. I'm gonna go to the Foley. Go to the Foley.
That's one way to look at it.
And then it's time for the tussle. So it's Titus O'Neil versus Mark Henry. What an incredible match this shit is going to be. I don't even think I need you to say anything because I can pretty much sum it up. Bell rings. Titus puts up the Texas Longhorns sign with his hand and then turns because if you think about it, that's what horns sometimes do on a cow. They don't always go up like a bull. Sometimes they go down because they're horny that way. By the way, this explanation of the Longhorns gesture has gone on longer than this match.
Yep.
Because as soon as he turns it upside down and makes a taunt, he runs the strongest slam, free count, and fuck was this on my television?
I have no idea what this match meant.
Hey, what are we talking about?
Mark Henry and
Talking
Titus
about
O'Neil.
how Vince hates black people.
Oh, you talking about the monkey versus spook? It was all right. I mean, and all right, and all right. When I say all right, I mean like it's all right that two black people got to
Oh
perform.
my god. man. I never
Oh, what is that too
wanted to cry
soon?
before.
My bad.
I just did.
Most people's bathroom
Yeah.
breaks in between the commercial breaks are longer than this.
Yeah. Jeez.
I don't know what they're doing with Titus. If Titus is going to become like Reverend Fred Sultan without the Reverend gimmick and be like the Don King of WWE, I don't have a problem with this. But number one, I don't think Vince or anybody on the writing staff, except maybe Jimmy, has seen the Great White Hype and won't understand that storyline, even though it seemed like what they're going towards. And number two, that's putting way too much emphasis on somebody that they obviously do not care enough to push, which is a shame.
So my question is, what would you, if you had all creative control, what would you make Titus O'Neil?
Don King, Fred Sultan, he gets to hype up wrestling matches. He can talk. He can talk really well. And I think he would just like be the one that would be, he would occasionally work, but mainly he would be like talking up the next big match.
So, a manager?
Yeah, kind of, but like more to it than that. A little more hands-on.
So like a Paul Heyman type of promoter.
Kind of that. I mean, okay, like I said, the best example is a movie called The Great White Hype, and it's Samuel L. Jackson's character in The Great White Hype.
I never watched it.
Most people haven't, but I really enjoy that movie. I mean, that's what I would do if it was up to me personally, but I'd like to see them do something with Titus, but it's clear they don't want to, so I'm just happy the guy's getting a paycheck, honestly. So let's move forward.
Now this is fucking and send it to Kid just so he's well informed for his WTF moments for tomorrow morning. Enzo is on the phone and wondering where his Uber driver is. And Austin, Texas hasn't had any Uber or Lyft services since June.
Oh boy. That's great.
Because they left because city regulation was coming in, forcing drivers to be fingerprinted in order to work. So Uber and Lyft just went up and left Austin. Because it hasn't existed. Just saying.
That's great.
Nobody fucking fact checked this. Jesus. Thankfully, though, a limo pulls up and out steps. Drunk. Ric Flair. And Enzo's like, oh my God, Rick. Yeah. Always been a fan of your work. You know, the original certified says, yeah, I've got a date with a foreign. My Uber isn't showing up. Again, see note from before. And, as well, then you could be a jet flying, styling, profiling, limousine riding. Basically, he offers him the limo, room 704, and he had Brick's here. He'll be showing up later for the final segment. Which I will have to check something if I can find on the tubes. So then we get the build up for the US title. Roman comes out, and then Chris is backstage. Owens comes in and says, "Oh, I can't beat him, and what, no matter what tries to happen, we'll make sure that there's no shenanigans." And Chris is just like, "Come, man, get out of my business, get out of my, stay away from me. I'm going to myself. I can do it." Out. Jojo makes sense. And we have a match, which was all in all pretty solid.
Yeah.
Except boo.
So yeah, good stuff here. No surprise. Solid back and forth here. So let's get to the end. Well, towards the end. Roman gets tossed out. Jericho goes for the springboard drop kick, but he misses the wrecking ball drop kick, and he gets caught with a drive-by. Tossed in, Superman punch misses, high elbow, drops Roman, lion salt, 1-2, and a kick out. But he ends up eating a Samoan drop. Then the Superman punch gets a near fall. Charges for the spear. He gets kicked in the face. Codebreaker is countered and a sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. So Roman charges. He ends up getting sidestepped, and he gets shoulder first into the ring post. Roll up from Jericho, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the walls. Gets countered. Double leg countered by Roman to a small package. Ducks the clothesline. Jericho with a step-up enziguri kick, and he goes for the walls, but Roman crawls to the ropes and gets the ropes. Jericho grabs the ref. Owens with a super kick. Walks right into the code breaker. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not that easy. Jericho's like, "What are you doing here?" And he gets up in Owens' face, and he reads him the riot act. And he tells him to get out of my way. I don't need you. And he literally physically shoves him. And Owens, kind of dejected, walks away. And while this happens, Jericho ducks Roman's spear. He leapfrogs over it, actually. And then Roman rebounds off, hits the spear anyway, and gets the win. Match was great, but it was the wrong finish. They really need to get that title off Roman. They're doing nothing with the U.S. title right now.
Yeah. Pretty good match, but, still, as much as they keep trying to push until he's actually heel.
See, the thing is, though, I'll give them credit. When Roman won,
if he hasn't proven enough in the heels at the minute are the most over guys.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Kevin, Joe, Bobby Roode, AJ, and or Goldberg.
Depends on what day it is, I guess, and what venue we're in.
Then, of course, we get a recap of Charlotte disowning her father for the second time. The thing is, it's not like it's a different edit.
Nope.
So then Big Cass makes it. We go to commercial and come back. Rusev's music hits. And nobody's showing up. And they try again. Nobody's showing up. And Cass is, going, "What's going on, man?" and then it suddenly dawns on him, oh crap, has anybody got a phone? Has anybody got a phone?
Cass turns into Tony Atlas and wants his telephone.
Rings him. Then there's so much echo that you can hear that they added the bloody iPhone ringtone music too often because it wouldn't echo like that. And obviously Enzo just hangs up. And I double checked. It actually did go to room 704. Although whether what was an actual hotel or whether they did a set somewhere in the back of the arena.
That's more likely.
In which case it though, because of the big long bit of carpet. But the thing is, the screens where the numbers were just looked like iPads. Because it looked for written on it. Rather than actually sort of a light up sort of plastic panel. So it's hard to tell. So, Cass is goes to the door and he's just like, and as he turns away, the door opens and Lana's there with, oh, and a very skimpy nightgown over her. And he's like, no, I can't do this. And she goes into the room, and he follows after her because she's crying, and she's emotional. And they have a drink of champagne together. She's getting frisky and wants Enzo to take his shirt off and then take his trousers off. And just as it's about she starts for Rusev. And time does he show up? If you look at the design of that fucking room, and okay, we made the joke before about, but why wasn't he hiding in the closet, which was right next to the entrance doors?
Yeah, he should have been right behind the door.
Why didn't he just? Why didn't he just burst out first time? Because when it was like, well, that's a bit undramatic. Just like Rusev. And it's like, you forgot your fucking Rusev. And then he actually came in. And Rusev, of course, it's like, here's Enzo, nearly naked, with his girl. And she keeps saying, there's only one man for me. And we're like, crap! And we get a hotel room brawl.
Been there, done that.
I think legally the Dave Chappelle line in Cleveland regarding with a seating appendage and an N-word.
Yes, 100%.
Or something like that. Like, fuck your couch! I'm not going any further. It's like, because that's what pretty much had an all-out massacre of vase, whatever you want to call it, smashed. A table got Yeah, a table got broke. Nicholas won the tables match. And then a light got sort of put through him, which was a bit of a weird one. And by a bit, I mean, and he gets dragged out of and into the hallway of the hotel. Rusev and Lana go in the hotel room, and then Lana, of course, door. With respect, the do not disturb sign should have been put on Enzo. That would have made it even better.
I like how they just dragged him out in the hallway. I
The
thought that was
cameraman does
funny.
fuck all. The cameraman does fuck all.
Right.
There you go.
Question is, haven't we already learned from Matt and Edge and Lita that just putting females in the middle of male rivalries just isn't.
Keep in mind, Lana was supposed to be a wrestler, and now she's just acting like I can. Yeah, the divas are not dead, are they?
Not really.
Oh, respect the women's division. I'm naked apart from this fucking red satin gown. Fuck me, you bastard. Like, fuck.
I love it when he talks like.
Yeah.
Is that Pikey? Could have fooled me.
And this is why Vince cannot be vagina. Ever. Because he's willing to fuck the vagina up. Just like he did here.
I mean, that's what our president does.
Or I guess, as implied, tonight. No, considering the accolade is a camel clutch, did he actually just go full Iron Sheik and fuck her in the ass and make her humble? I don't know. By the way, fuck the Ted DiBiase.
This is all over the place. It was so obvious things were going to happen the way they were. It was obvious that Rusev wasn't going to show up to the match. It was obvious that Rusev's going to be in the hotel room. It was obvious it was all just a ruse.
Sheik,
I mean,
what did you think?
she's very animated tonight.
Isn't he always?
Of course.
This Raw was so.
That because now I'm going to go to Sheiky's Twitter.
This Raw was so topsy turvy.
Oh, he said a shit ton of stuff.
In and out.
I mean,
verified. Oh, he hasn't tweeted a lot. The only thing, two things are worth noting he tweeted today. One was, here is a and then 14 hours ago, he tweeted, "Dear Monday, go fuck yourself." You know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like this is the reason why I like SmackDown more than I like Raw. SmackDown things just seem more well put together.
I'm at the point now that there's not much I care about on either program. And like,
I mean,
a lot of people reading, there's a lot of people that like TLC, and I'm like, okay, that's nice, but I was indifferent to it.
yeah.
Good old Sheik. The Big Mac dead, God bless him. But if ever see that fucking jabroni Ronald, I break his back with my camel.
Oh, that's great. Sheiky going after Ronald McDonald. That's glorious.
Glorious.
I knew someone was going to do it.
Do you think there's anybody from NXT that just needs to come to the main roster, Iota?
No.
Oh,
No.
wow. Remember the Cyber Monday sale from last week
Right.
that WWE did?
Mm-hmm.
Iron Sheik's response to it was, fuck the 50% off. And the really best bit, apparently he's informed us that his new tag team partner is that the musician Kenny G.
Oh my god.
Whoa, that's the fuck.
So yeah, now we get our next match, and this was our real main event of the night.
Yeah. And for the tag titles, Anderson and Gallows versus Cesaro and Sheamus. Stay at ringside on Facebook Live, apparently.
Yeah.
The winners facing New Day.
They had the Rilo Ken beanbag at ringside too.
Beanbag?
Yes. So, some good stuff here. Heat on Cesaro for a while. Cesaro tries to make a diving tag, gets caught with an Anderson spinebuster for a near fall. Gallows tagged in. He nails Sheamus. And the Good Brothers hit basically a standing version of the Demolition Decapitation, which instead of coming off the middle rope with the elbow, he comes off the rope with the elbow. Gets a near fall off of that. Anderson tagged in. They set up the Magic Killer. Really cool. Sheamus comes in, swings Cesaro. He ends up DDTing. I thought that worked really well. So Anderson charges in, and Cesaro ends up sending Anderson to the floor right in front of the New Day. Sheamus finally hot tag. Sheamus comes in with a couple axe handles and the clubbing blows, and he goes for the fireman's carry. Gallows comes in the ring, and he hits the Finley roll, and Anderson comes in, he eats the Finley roll, and that Finley roll is on top of Gallows. 1-2 and no kick out. He sets up again, going for white noise, gets countered out. Sheamus goes for the cloverleaf in Texas. How appropriate. And Anderson kicks him off. Blind tag Cesaro. Sheamus gets set outside. Cesaro with a flying body press, 1-2, and no, he kicks out. He hits the 180 springboard Swiss uppercut, and Gallows gets knocked off the ring apron with a big boot. Cesaro sits the swing. Gallows interrupts that. Cesaro sends him out. Anderson comes in. Sheamus clotheslines him off the ring steps, and they're fighting into the New Day. New Day's like, forget this. So everybody starts fighting. And one of my favorite things, Kofi takes off his jacket, and he dives in, going for his tope con hilo. Cesaro and Sheamus catch him and toss him at the New Day. And we have a no contest. So it is announced quickly after that we're getting a triple threat match on Raw to determine who may or may not be the ones to end the New Day's chase to top demolition, or just another stepping stone on the road to breaking the record. I mean, I like this. I like this match a lot. I want to see these teams go at it again. Very much so. Because all four of these guys like to be hard hitting. All four of these guys are stiff in the ring, and they know what they're doing. Yeah, exactly. They're solid workers. I enjoyed this match greatly. In a perfect world, Cesaro would be world champion. One thing I will take from this match, I think it was funny when Cesaro came out with his Bond entrance and Sheamus comes out, he grabs Cesaro's sunglasses and he wears them as he walks down the ramp.
Well, it didn't work when he was, which is it, Bebop, or I think he's Rocksteady, wasn't he?
I believe so.
It didn't work when he was Rocksteady in the Billy Turtles sequel. So why is it going to work here? Oh,
because it just does.
And of course, we find out that what comes from this is next week the tag match title. So I guess technically it's a 6-man tag. 7. And of course, it's historic next week because if the belt is retained by New Day next week, they break Demolition's. If not, so we shall see.
Indeed.
Inform us that Cena is hosting SNL this Saturday. We also get Enzo and Cass. Sometimes I wonder why main trying to influence fans. Anyway, music hits. She heads to the ring on her own. Yep, how she lost last week and how Sasha has also accepted Sasha's proposed /woman match for 30 minutes at the pay-per-view. I thought that would be the longest match of the night, which is pleasing. The question is, will they put it? Be interesting to see how who knows. Especially if they want the fans to go home happy. If a certain thing happens in the WWE Universal title match, the fans will not go home happy.
No. God, no.
And considering we're in which is disputed country, Pennsylvania, probably not. There could be an actual riot if Roman wins. I need to see if Roman wins we riot sign. And then if it does happen, you actually start a riot. Because then shit hit the fan, Sam. So, you know, Charlotte says, 6 months ago I made the biggest mistake of my life. And then they show an extended clip of her ditching Rick. Fucking again. We get it. She's a bitch when she ditched Rick. It's all supposed to rhyme all the fucking time. With herself. When Rick celebrated. What she wanted was Daddy's approval. And always wondered if she was good enough for the Flair legacy. And after what she understands last week, she feels she failed herself as Rick's daughter and wants to offer Daddy an apology. Wants him to come to the ring, which he does. And she goes, "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry." And bitch slap. And then goes, "I'm your daughter, Rick, not Sasha. I'm disgusted by what you did last week." Yeah. Comes out to defend the old man. And brawl around ringside for a bit, but Charlotte gets the upper hand, smashes the post. So clearly the officials that are trying to stop her are fucking incapable, I think. And Rick, during all this time, is looking on from the ring like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Drags her into the ring, gives her the natural selection, and then taunts her father, going, "Oh, what do you think of your girl, Sasha?" And they're like, "Yeah, boo hoo hoo, you're crying." And I'm like, "Yeah, this angle was shit 6 months ago. Why are we bringing it back?"
I don't know why they're doing this.
I think Rick was retired. But nope. You got to do all that shit again. If the viewing figures were good for this women's segment at the end of tonight's show, it could influence what happens at Roadblock in 2 weeks. If it went down the shitter, well, could be interesting. As to anything fucking happening. Ever.
Right.
Again. I actually need to have a quick look. See if we can get an update. Well, not it's really an update. NFL scores. Because I'm just intrigued as to wow. That could influence that a lot of people might have watched that segment. Because tonight's match went Colts 41, Jets 10. So by the end of the 34-3. So stick there for the fourth quarter, in which it probably wasn't going to. It could be interesting for that. And if they turned off because they weren't interested in what was happening afterwards, it'd be interesting to see what happens there. We'll wait for the figures. See how they do, considering it was pretty much solid 3 million viewers overall over the last 3 hours last week.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, Sasha apparently tweeted tonight, "You got one thing right, Charlotte. You really are a bitch. Bitch, 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 bitch." Apparently.
Yeah, this. I mean, I don't know how this is going to affect anything. I mean, we're going to get Sasha and Charlotte in the Iron Woman match. I guess we'll see where we go. I mean, like you said, if this fails, then say goodbye to the women being able to main event. But if it succeeds, then more power to them. We'll see what happens at Roadblock, Walking Dead into the line.
Which I guess means San Antonio's probably Sasha versus Sasha versus Emma. Unless they did face versus face with Bailey.
I don't know at this point, honestly. I think on that note, Ashley, that's probably our show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to it. Solid wrestling, that's about it. Weird storyline progression. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing else you can really say about it tonight. We've been having a lot of technical issues tonight, so if you're still with us, thank you for sticking by. We'll be back Wednesday at 9 p.m. for the Wednesday Wrestling Popcast. We will not be talking What Culture Pro Wrestling because there was no show to cover, but we got a lot to talk about Ring of Honor. Once again, I am a prognosticator, and that will be discussed along with TNA Impact as well as Lucha Underground. The Indies, we're going to talk more Real World Tag League in Japan. A lot of stuff. 205 Live, SmackDown, just various things from the world of wrestling. Ashley did a Sip and Snack. That's actually going to be up soon. And
yeah,
if you haven't seen it yet, Ashley was not in there in person. His voice wasn't heard, but his presence was certainly felt when AJ and myself did our Academy Awards predictions for November. That's currently up here on the network, so if you want to check that out. A big shout out to Scott for joining us for a little bit. Always nice to have him a part of the show.
Yep.
Follow him on Twitter at Great Traveling Scott, GR8, Trav, TRAVLN Scott, and his link to his YouTube channel, and which will take you basically to what his podcast is on Spreaker. That's on this network as well. Shout out to Cleveland for joining us for a little bit tonight at Contro Cleve on Twitter. His Cleveland Henry YouTube channel is available here in the description bar. Aaron was supposed to join us tonight, but something must have happened. So follow him at Mr. ENT92 and check out his channel, link in the description bar. So everyone hopefully will be back next week. And if not, then they'll be back eventually. So more power to it. Our first Halloween Horror Nights 27 podcast is coming in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned to the Twitter feed for more information on that. And Ashley?
I'm just seeing the report that Scott retweeted that apparently Arizona's getting the chamber.
Yeah, that was mentioned a couple weeks ago, but we still don't know if it's Raw or SmackDown.
Follow me on Twitter, Ash is my name UK. Check out other podcasts like this over at SNSRadioNetwork.com. Game with Ash will be covering the craziness of the Game Awards / Jeff Keighley sold to Kojima, and also fuck Although I don't know the right time and the place for all that stuff to happen, but either way. As well as the PSX stuff. Big reveals there, including one of the most anticipated and also the most feared video game sequels of all time. In the same breath, our opinion is on a certain game of the decade or game of the generation or whatever you want to call it.
All right. Follow along on Twitter with the Popcast Network at Popcast Network. Follow me on Twitter at Suro and Disney. Follow the network on Facebook at our Facebook fan page at Popcast Network. Check out our merchandise at Zazzle at Popcast Network, our Patreon at Popcast Network. And as always, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for joining us tonight. Check out the Raw Popcast from last week, the Wednesday Wrestling Podcast from last week, our Ring of Honor Final Battle Podcast from this past weekend, and our TLC Podcast from last night. So check those out. And as always, in a world where there are a billion wrestling podcasts, we're very pleased that once more tonight you have chosen a Popcast. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks everyone for listening. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
Right, now to find my ABBA compilation CD. Shit, I can't find it. Where's my fucking gold, Jeff?